The lotus flower. When I was in India many moons ago, I heard the analogy that we should be like the lotus flower. The lotus flower roots are in the dark, murky water of the swamp, yet the flower itself rises above the swamp and never touches the dark, dirty water. It is pure all by itself. In the same way, these Jain's teachings allow one to rise above the dark, swampy, murky water of this world. One can be of this world, and yet not of this world. This is the puzzle of life that every individual, someday or the other, must solve. Am I a wanderer or a traveler? Am I a wanderer or a traveler? This is probably the most important question you can ask yourself. The majority of the world is wanderers. They don't seem to know the direction to travel in life. They are born and live their lives without ever discovering the essence, the ties that lies within. Not knowing their true nature, they are continuously wandering from the time they are born to the time they die. A traveler knows that there is a precious destination. Every single step in a traveler's life is important. On this path, one knows that baby steps are needed. One is not going to leap and get there in one jump. Even the traveler falls on this path, but over time he just smiles when he stumbles. He simply dusts himself off, has a smile at the smiles at the situation, and takes another step. Many wanderers would get completely frustrated and angry when they fall. They would blame themselves or blame the world. Placing blame on the situation never will solve the problem. The wanderer has no true purpose. How can you have a purpose when you're simply wandering your entire life away? Many people scoff and ridicule the traveler. They just don't understand the importance of realizing their true nature exists inside of them. Which one are you in this life? To go to the next level in the video game of life, one must understand the difference between being a wanderer and a traveler. There is a huge difference. Evolution, revolution. I have been talking about the revolution of the soul for quite some time now. During this 18-day celebration, I've heard the word revolution of the soul many times. Even the great 24 masters use the same word. The revolution of the soul is the most important thing to embrace in the universe. It's strange. I feel so comfortable listening to these teachers. Yeah, I barely understand a word that they are saying. Yet the soul instinctively knows the truth when it arises. My solution to the problem was to find out exactly what they were talking about the next day. The soul can guide us to exactly where to gather that wisdom. I took a previous course from this teacher 2 years ago around this time. I see the conviction that she has. This is the most important thing that you could do, is discover your true nature. She is an inspiration to me. It is demonstrated in her talks, which we would call satsang. talk about a revolution. She said the word dynamite to blow up all obstacles between you and your soul. Amazingly, the Jains have had an incredible roadmap for thousands of years. This is the roadmap of discovering your soul within. Without discovering your soul, man is wandering and is lost. Mind you, not only in this lifetime, but previous lifetimes. The soul is infinite. The soul is beyond time and space. The soul has never been created or will be destroyed. How many lifetimes have you wandered aimlessly about without any sense of direction? We come into this world when it doesn't take too much time to get completely lost. When I was in India many moons ago, I also heard that having this human body is the most precious thing in the universe. What a grand opportunity to have this human body. Imagine the hardware, software, and operating systems have been perfectly created for you to discover your true nature within. Yeah, we barely understand this computer inside even exists. Our external senses are so dominant that we totally have forgotten that we have 5 internal senses. Consequently, we have lost the way altogether. We think the spiritual path is nonsense. We think the spiritual path is hocus pocus. Yet the spiritual path is the most practical. One who does not know the jewel within will never be happy. That, my friend, is the fact. Nothing external will last forever. Everything comes and goes. The Jains pondered over the many different states of mind and emotions, both that hinder our progress and bring us closer to liberation. I'm amazed at the depth of their knowledge. To be honest, one could study 10 lifetimes of these teachings and still just skim the surface of them. The wise men will take these teachings and dig for the diamond that exists inside. The diamond is your true nature. The goal is into every single moment of your existence to be in union with your soul. By doing so, one will stop karma, both good and bad, to occur. I heard this many times before, to stop and hesitate before you speak. Most people in prison would have loved to have that advice before they perform the act that put them into prison in the first place. Can you imagine if you just hesitated for just 1 second more? It might be the difference where they may not perform that action. The more we understand and experience our soul, the mind becomes purified. One begins to see the mind, body, and soul connection. The Jains have so many rules and guidelines on almost every single area of human existence. Mind you, this is not dogma. This can be used as an revolution tool to help bring this world back to sanity. The world is in chaos because man's mind is in chaos. Yet, we think that is completely normal. I am so glad that I found a society that actually drives me to practice what they preach. This is not the practice where you put your $5 in the offering and you go on your merry way the rest of the week. I paid my dues, that's good enough. Many people are waking up from their slumber. Someday I feel inside me that this message has to be taken to this world. Maybe it's about time to come up with the same message and yet strip out all the Indian terms. If it was just pure English, it would be so much easier to understand. Picture this. I've been on this road for over 50 years now. I've consciously tried to be aware of the power behind my breath, which is my soul. I couldn't even answer one question because of the terminology. Fortunately, I had the wisdom and the patience to overcome this obstacle. The average person would have heard the first session and within 5 minutes turned it off. I'm not here to criticize. I understand this celebration is for the Jains who have been practicing for many years. It is in English. Hopefully, someday in the future, we can have these lectures be presented in such a way the world will say yes. I see it in my life. So many teachers taking the wisdom from the Jains that have been there for thousands of years. They wrap it up into a different story for today. Millions of people are open to listening to this story. The concepts are old, yet the message is modern day. Someday we must make the old. We must mix the old with the new. So many scientific discoveries lately are in complete harmony with the Jains that they discovered thousands of years ago. Many New Age concepts come from the Jains, and yet you wouldn't know it. The fabric of society, a lot of it is from the Jains, yet the world doesn't know it. I hope I don't offend anyone by saying this. As I said, I've been on this path for many years, and yet during this 18-day celebration, I have learned even more. Some key components were represented in such a way I had an aha experience. Humanity is going from darkness to light. The entire world needs to hear this message. We should be having thousands of people listening. I know many groups that have around 2,000 to 5,000 people attending seminars and listening online. Just think, the foundation of much of this material is from the Jains and the great teachers. The world doesn't know the world of the Jains. It took me many moons to actually have the opportunity to discover your world. It was in total alignment with my practice and my view and philosophy of this world. To be quite frank, I haven't met a group of people who have the same views.